U.S. Marine patrolling U.S. border has a terrifying warning for Americans after what he found. To all of you out there who think those of us who supported, and voted for, then candidate Donald Trump because we are xenophobic and racist, here is your wake-up call. A former United States Marine patrolling the Mexico-Texas border has a chilling message for you and all Americans. In an interview with Dennis Michael Lynch, a former U.S. Marine who served in the Middle East is now an active member of a border group that patrols the southern border. He is a former bomb expert trained by the Department of Defense. Known to his pals as Talon, he shared his thoughts about the other-than-Mexicans that have been coming through the border for years. The Chinese and Middle Eastern people coming through the border are not coming here to cut our lawns and wash dishes. They hate us with a passion, said Talon. When referring to the Muslims who hate the U.S., he said, "We are the infidels and they think we deserve to die." DML asked him how long until another 9/11? Talon answered, "I'm shocked it hasn't happened yet. Let me tell you that once they figure out how to get a nuke through the border, we will lose a U.S. city." There are congressional reports that reveal the drug cartels work with terror groups from the Middle East. All this isn't news to those of us already living in border states. We see what's coming in on a daily basis. Our cities are being overrun by gang crime like never before. The best of the best doesn't just walk across our borders. These aren't children with divinity in their eyes, as Nancy Pelosi calls them. Since President Trump's inauguration, there has been a sharp decrease in illegals crossing the border illegally, but we won't be secure until the wall is built and we are able to stop them completely. Last week, Attorney General Jeff Sessions sent official letters to the 9 different cities, counties and the whole state of California ordering them to stop the madness and let the Department of Homeland Security and ICE do their job. If not, they will be punished by ceasing to send these 9 entities federal funds. I know my home state of California can't survive long on its own, although liberals and loony politicians actually believe it can. Maybe legalizing marijuana in this state wasn't such a great idea after all. To all you liberals out there, please, stop with the finger pointing and accusations. This isn't about being bigoted, Islamophobic, xenophobic, or whatever phobic you want to invent next. It's about our very survival as a nation, as a culture and as a people. If you need to, pretend the bad people slipping in through the border are Christians and Jews. I'm sure if they were you would have no issue whatsoever in building a wall to stop them, but please to play with our security and very existence only because you believe in the madness that is political correctness. The press expected Trump to play golf yesterday. When they found out what he really did, they were silent. President Donald Trump has a lot on his plate and frequently turns his weekends into work days, as he tirelessly forges ahead to get America back on track. However, today, he dropped everything to go to the hospital with Melania, and now we know who else is there for an incredibly tragic reason. The sudden visit comes as a big surprise, but what happened there was nothing short of incredible. The Trumps are no strangers to hospitals recently, as Melania was just at one a few short weeks ago for the entire day visiting children undergoing cancer treatment. Her compassion was evident for these kids, brightening her day in her soft, underspoken way, despite the burdens she was in the midst of dealing with at the time from the hateful media who relentlessly attack her and can only find fault in her every move. Saturday's trip to one particular hospital was for an entirely different reason, and what was caught on camera is something that everyone in America needs to see. The president has proved his pride in our military in honoring these heroes every chance he gets, along with giving them the power back to do their job and defeat our enemies. The fight doesn't come without great sacrifice, which too often means the cost of life or limb. When soldiers are greatly wounded in war, they are treated at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland. Today, the President and First Lady had the honor of visiting these important patients and presenting one with a Purple Heart. During the visit, President Trump awarded Sergeant First Class Alvaro Barrientos a Purple Heart, the Gateway pundit reported. Sergeant First Class Alvaro Barrientos was injured in Afghanistan recently. Then, something incredible happened that we haven't seen in years. Trump didn't have to spend his day in the hospital nor be the one to award Sergeant Barrientos with a Purple Heart. However, There was nothing more important than showing his respect and his appreciation for this amputee. "When I heard about this, I wanted to do this myself," President Trump said. "Congratulations. Tremendous." The couple posed for several pictures with the war hero. There's no better person to present this medal to a soldier than to a commander-in-chief who genuinely cares. Had Barack Obama still been in office and made the time to arrive at Walter Reed, it would have been an insult for the man who stripped the military down to nothing. Trump has built it back up even after Obama urged soldiers to question Trump's authority, saying to criticize our president, Breitbart reported. As news of Trump's visit broke, some criticized him of making his plans known in a tweet about his plans, before leaving the White House and heading to the hospital. While he announced it with great honor, saying he was looking forward to seeing our bravest and greatest Americans, the liberal media said, most visits go unannounced. However, they missed the point. Too often, especially under Barack Obama, Americans lose sight of the sacrifice made on the battlefield for our freedom. The rights we enjoy here today are defended by brave men and women willing to put their life on the line, which liberals take gross advantage of. While these heroes are facing an enemy in a foreign land that's far outside of an entitled leftist safe space, these idiots are back in the land of the free, crying for handouts, stomping on our flag, and complaining about what's fairness. Trump's visit today should serve as a reminder of what patriotism, heroism, and being a true American really looks like. The military deserves any and all attention they can get, and Trump announcing that he's presenting this important award should be something commended, not criticized. Trump's team just took immigrants' favorite freebie from 9 sanctuary cities, let the riots begin. Hell yeah. It's happening, folks. The reason most of us worked for and supported candidate Donald Trump is finally happening. United States Attorney General Jeff Sessions officially sent 9 sanctuary cities a letter notifying them that the U.S. Attorney General's office will no longer be looking the other way when it comes to harboring illegal aliens in their jurisdiction. The order is simple: either comply with United States laws or lose federal funding. The 9 counties included in the list are the entire state of California, New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, Las Vegas, New Orleans, and Milwaukee. And also Cook County in Illinois and Miami-Dade County in Florida. In order to comply with the letter, all these 9 will need to prove that they will not impede the operations in any way, matter nor form when Homeland Security or ICE are trying to do their job. If they don't abide by this order, they will, in fact, lose all federal funding available to them. Doesn't it feel great to know we finally have a president who follows the law? The Conservative Daily Post reports. Considering that it is part of the law, this is important to notice the areas all signed the documents, agreeing to what was being asked. The Justice Department included in the letter, many of these jurisdictions are also crumbling under the weight of illegal immigration and violent crime. Considering that these areas are in such dire shape amid the crime, it would be reasonable to think they would have been the first cities to cooperate with Homeland Security. That isn't the case though. So many of the mayors and leaders are Democrats, and they want to promote an open border society. They want to welcome as many people into their cities as possible to show what an open border society can look like. All it's doing is confirming that illegal immigrants that are coming to the country are putting Americans in danger. Normally, if citizens were in danger, they would call the police and they would take it from there. That could facilitate a call to federal authorities, such as dealing with illegals. However, in these sanctuary cities, there are tricks done to ensure this doesn't happen. One of the more common tactics is not alerting the proper authorities from alerting federal agents when an illegal is behind bars. If they don't know that an immigrant is in custody, then the proper authorities can't follow up on detainer requests. These are requests given to local police sheriffs to hold immigrants until they are picked up by proper authorities. This will be fun to watch, especially here in my home state of California, where just last week our governor, Jerry Moonbeam Brown, actually took $110 million from the educational budget of largely middle-class area schools and diverted it to helping illegal aliens. Better to help future Democrat voters than to educate a middle class who is largely Republican down the line. Don't you think? Today we should all beam with pride. We officially have a president who keeps his promises. President Donald Trump ran on stopping illegal immigration and he is following through on his promise. We have one of the most lenient and generous immigration laws in the first world. There is no reason to skip the line. The world's problems are not our responsibility anymore. All this will make for great entertainment to watch it play out during the next few months. I'll make the popcorn. Trump makes major announcement about Bill O'Reilly. Fox News has been dealing with some pretty hard-hitting scandals lately. First, Roger Ailes was forced out as head of the company when it was found he sexually harassed women at the network. Now they let go of Bill O'Reilly after it wasn't alleged and found that he too sexually harassed dozens of women in the workforce. Ultimately, the Murdoch brothers fired him, but it was not long before President Trump defended him to the mainstream liberal media. In an interview conducted at the White House, the president said the following about Bill O'Reilly. "He's a person I know well, he is a good person. I think he shouldn't have settled, personally, I think he shouldn't have settled. Because you should have taken it all the way. I don't think Bill did anything wrong." It seems that even if the former anchor has lost all friends and colleagues, he certainly has one in the president. Likely because the president understands what it is like to have sexual harassment charges levied against him.